What is this topic about? This is Jena Griswold, the Colorado Secretary of State, who has recently been involved in a situation where her office inadvertently, imagine that, posted partial passwords for certain election equipment components on the department's website. Oh, it was a spreadsheet on the Colorado Secretary of State's website contained a hidden tab with partial passwords to some parts of Colorado's voting systems. I mean, this is something that can happen to anybody in 2000s, but not now. Like in 2001, maybe you had a password like 1 2 3 4 5 6, something like that. But right now, no, this is not something. This is what I don't like about digital equipment, all this stuff with machines for voting. Why we need paper ballots, same day voting, ID, all that? But well, I guess that the people who make the laws in the United States know more than the common sense of Latino who escaped the socialism in Venezuela. But I don't know. I think that should be fixed at some point. So people were requesting this analysis with so much, urgency because of the subject matter, which is urgent right now. But we need to know if what does her body language say. So let's take a look. Why I cannot hear anything?
Be
okay.
Very
okay. Now I have sound.
full.
There we go.
To be very clear, we do not see this as a full security threat to the state. This is not a security threat.
You do frequent media interviews warning of the insider threats to elections. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security defines an insider threat as somebody who uses authorized access wittingly or unwittingly to do harm. Did the actions of your office pose an insider threat to elections?
Okay, the first thing that I noticed, and the first part when she was saying to be very clear, she's trying to emphasize with her words. She's trying to use her words to emphasize what she says. But I saw a couple gestures, facial emotions of disgust. Notice that she has her face quite relaxed right now. It's quite neutral. But as she begins to speak,
To be very clear, we do not see this as a full security.
You know that this is like a bit of a laugh. There must be a name for that when you insert a very quick laugh in between. That thing that you insert in your voice. She did that like it was a joke. Like, are they joking? Something so serious as a password for a voting machine?
Full security threat to the state. This is not.
And that eyebrow raise, is a bit out of left field. Let me see. I'm going to try to.
Security threat to the state. This is not.
You see it?
Security threat to the state. This is.
Yeah, she says security threat, and she, there's no security threat in here. And there's that subtle eyebrow raise. Again, it doesn't mean anything in itself, but it's interesting that she doesn't do that all the time. We saw like 20 seconds of her speaking, and she did not do it. But when she says the word security threat, she does that and raises her eyebrows. So there's an emotional reaction in there. So there's a... even if she is trying to make her face be neutral, there's an emotion in there.
Threat to the state. This is not a security threat.
You do frequent media interviews warning of the insider threats to elections. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security defines an insider threat as somebody who uses authorized access wittingly or unwittingly to do harm. Did the actions of your office pose an insider threat to elections?
I see her blinking rate is more or less the standard. Let's see her blinking rate. Right. I hadn't noticed that when she's speaking at the first part, this is why you have to watch these videos a couple times. Her blinking rate is way up. It's like more than one. I would say that 2 every second. So yeah, she is actually very distressed. She's actually very nervous about the topic. So she's actually nervous about talking about this.
The U.S. Department of Homeland Security defines an insider threat as somebody who uses authorized access wittingly or unwittingly to do harm. Did the actions of your office pose an insider threat to elections?
No.
Okay, she said no. We have this cut.
No.
Was a very abrupt cut, but I don't see anything. The problem is the cut. It was so immediate. We couldn't see what happened after that. I think the clip
In
repeats.
2021, when Mesa County's voting system passwords leaked, your office said, quote, "The public disclosure of the BIOS passwords for one or more components of Mesa County's voting system alone constitutes a serious breach of voting system security protocols. By that standard, did your office commit a serious breach of voting system security protocols?"
Now, notice that her face is neutral right now, but right at the start, when he was like making the second case,
2021.
she's got this place. I don't know. I wouldn't say that this is duping the light. There's, what I do know is that this is not a genuine smile. If you look only at the eyes, you see that the eyes are devoid of expression. This is how you spot a real smile. The mouth wants to do a smile. I have also told you that remember that the left side of the face is usually more expressive than the right side. And in this case, we see that the left side, which should be a bit, more intense, is quite flat, while it is the right side, the one who raises. So no, that's another clue that this is not a genuine smile. So she's either nervous or something else is happening. We know that she's trying to act cool about this. But I don't know how would she really do that.
Breach of voting system security protocols.
Well, to push back on you, Kyle, that sentence is in the press release, but there is a much bigger press release. And part of that investigation in Mesa County was 2 sets of passwords, unauthorized access, stolen passwords, and it was in a different time. Since 2021 and what happened in Mesa County, our security has improved, including the 24/7 hour cameras, including the badge and access.
The problem is she's talking about 24/7 security and all that. But the problem is that a huge breach in security can happen only by just having people or careless people handling the information. If you just leave a file with sensitive information and you don't hide information, and why would you have passwords just going around on a spreadsheet? That is a breach. You can have all the cameras that you want. You can have all the technology that you want, and that is not going to be enough if you're careless with actual important stuff. I see that there's more to this story, and I would like to see another interview of her. There's a last part of this
County
clip.
don't occur, and that is not what is occurring here.
That is not what is occurring here, but I don't know. I have my doubts. She wants to come out as cool. Oh, nothing is happening, especially because that you see those gestures of the laughter, the fake smile, that subtle raising of the eyebrows. Those are signals that she's nervous and she wants to just tone it down, especially that she wants to tone it down. When generally you want people to be as clear as possible about everything, and yeah, that is an actual breach of security. it would have been better, or it is better, when you know that you're talking about a breach of security and people say yes and it has been corrected. And then you talk about all the other measures, but this was maybe part of an older way to store data. I don't know. But how do you feel when people try to, downplay? It's the downplaying of the event what is suspicious. But I still would like to know what you think about this in the comments. Remember to download my free body language tips in the description of this video, and you will be subscribed to my email list, and we will be able to stay in contact with whatever happens, and you will get my 100 free body language tips.